Welcome back, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest is a Grammy Award-winning and Tony-nominated actor you know from Girls, Falsettos, and the Book of Mormon. Please welcome back to The Late Show, Andrew Rannells. Nice to see you.
It's great to see you.
Yeah.
I just love you.
Oh.
And I'm so happy to be here.
That's so lovely to say. Thank
Thrilled
you very
to be
much.
back.
Nice to see you.
Thrilled to be back here.
Now, here's the thing.
What do you got?
I had the distinct honor in 15 years ago, in 2011, at the Tonys to introduce you.
You did.
You came out and sang in front of the Tony audience. I just recently, and I mean today, found out that I was not the first choice.
Okay. Okay.
I was wondering why I got called like 2 days before the Tonys. Like, oh, that'd be great. I'd love to. They must love me.
We do love you. Yes,
okay.
and we did. But we did because, you know, it was the Book of Mormon and it was, you know, going to be an election year. We thought, wouldn't it be fun if we asked Mitt Romney to introduce us?
Which I think is actually a perfect choice.
Right? And he said, sure. And then...
Because
he didn't know what the show was.
Yes.
And then he found out, or someone told him what the show was. And then he said no. And then you came.
Do you know what I suspect actually happened?
What happened?
I bet he knew what the show was because he's not dumb. And it's
yeah.
called the Book of Mormon. And I thought he was like, oh, that'll be fun.
Yes,
and then
exactly.
other people went,
you can't do that. But he might have had a good
because he's
time
actually
doing it.
kind of fun. We did a bit with him once. And it was surprisingly a lot of fun.
But you were an upgrade, let's be honest. And you were, what I remember about that night, I remember, two real big things. You, obviously, and you were so kind. And I didn't get to see you before, but then I got to see you afterwards.
Yeah, we went to the party.
We went to the party, and you took a picture with me, and it was really sweet.
Yeah.
But as I was getting ready to go on, I was getting my microphone on, and next to me was Hugh Jackman getting his microphone on.
That's good.
And he had just seen the show, and he said, "Are you nervous?" Because I was about to sing. And I said, "I am nervous." And he said, "Come here." And he hugged me, like held me, like a little baby, and he rocked me back and forth. And he said, "You're gonna do great."
He does that to me every time he's here.
I keep hearing that he just gives that out to people.
Exactly.
But
He's a hug slut. Now,
you heard it here.
You originated the role of Elder Price, as I said. How'd you get the part? Like, walk me through the process. I'd love to hear how people got cast.
It was a very normal audition process, honestly. Like, I went in and I sang. No one could read the script. No one had like anything from the show. It was all a big secret. So I went in and I sang my own stuff, and then I, cold read a scene, and then they said, okay, you can come back and read again. So I read again, and then I got a phone call that they were like, they want to fly you out to Los Angeles, which never happens for Broadway shows, because they won't even give you subway fare. But these people were like, we'll fly you out to LA, you'll meet with Trey and Matt and Bobby, and you'll read with this guy named Josh Gad. So I fly to LA, and I was like, this is such a long shot that I'm gonna get this job. And I showed up at the audition, and I'm dressed like a Mormon, like an idiot, kind of like tonight. And I had my little short sleeves on, and there were two other actors in the waiting room who were also dressed like Mormons. And one of them was Nick Lachey from 98 Degrees. And I was like, they're gonna cast 98 Degrees. Yeah. Like, he's famous, and who am I? So I just went in and I was like, well, it. Like, it's not gonna be my job, so I'm just gonna have fun with it. And Josh and I just kind of weirdly hit it off, and I realized that I was never going to out-Josh him. Like, I just sort of stood very still while he ran around me and got very sweaty. And I just stood there and reacted to him, and that was it. Yeah, and then I got a phone call that you're gonna do this show.
Well,
there it is.
You're gonna do a piece in just a little while here.
I am.
You're gonna sing "I Believe," and as Elder Price, how would you describe Elder Price's character? What do we need to know about him?
Well, I think he's great. I think there's...
How much of you is
a lot.
There's a lot of you in this character.
I think that there is a sort of Midwestern. I'm from Nebraska. There's like a Midwestern
corn-fed,
nice quality to him.
Oh, I see.
Meaning like he's polite, but he's also kind of a dick. But like is very smiley, so people are like, oh, he must be nice. But then there's like an edge underneath it, and I think I brought that to that role.
Not your first Broadway show, though.
No,
you went into Hairspray and Jersey Boys.
Correct.
Not in the original cast,
Yeah,
like that. This is your first time being in an original production in the original cast.
Yeah.
How is that different for a performer?
Well, it's very different because they're writing it. Everything is changing as you're rehearsing it. So Trey and Matt and Bobby would come in with new pages every day, and the show was constantly changing. And even when we got into rehearsals, into performances, into previews, the show was changing pretty drastically every night. And it was an amazing thing to watch those three guys work, because even if something worked and was super funny, but they knew they could beat it, they would beat it. They would like, nah, we can beat that joke. We got something better.
Well, what does that do to you as a performer if the lyrics are changing every night? Because people always go like, how do you remember all those words?
Yeah.
But then you have to forget words and remember new words.
Fear. I was in constant fear
It's a great
of losing my job. I was like, if I don't do this correctly, they're going to fire me.
Okay.
So I remember one night, Trey came in with new lyrics for the top of Act 2 for this number called Spooky Mormon Hell Dream, and he was like, we wrote these new lyrics, and I was like, great. And he was like, can you do it tonight? And I said, okay. And I just did it, and I remember they told the cast, they were like, Andrew's gonna sing some different lyrics tonight, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And we just did it.
Wow.
You know, when
Did
you're
anyone
like,
else on stage ever freak out and go, those aren't the right lyrics?
No, everyone was really on board with like changing things. I mean,
Okay.
sometimes people would forget things. Josh Gad.
Okay, the lyrics, we were talking before, the lyrics are a little spicy at times.
Yeah.
And
what do you mean?
were you surprised that the people in the audience that enjoyed them, that
loved
maybe
it?
that you didn't think maybe would?
Wow, I thought that we all thought the show would find like a very niche, supportive audience. I certainly never thought the show would be on tour in Salt Lake City. Like that's
There
pretty
it is.
insane.
How's it doing,
Do you know what I
Chelsea?
mean?
Does
I think
well?
it killed.
It killed. Okay, great.
No, we found an audience. See, there are filthy people everywhere, Stephen. It's
That's the
not
good
just
news.
right.
Yes.
They're everywhere.
Well, thank you so much for being here and for sticking around just a moment to sing I Believe.
Are you going to introduce me again?
I am.
You
Andrew
are?
Rannells. The Magical Mormon Week will be June 9th to 14th at the Eugene O'Neill Theater to celebrate 15 years of the Book of Mormon on Broadway. We'll be right back with the performance by Andrew Rannells.